Today feels like one of those days where every Sixers fan needs to stop for a second and pay attention. Because something huge is happening around this franchise. And honestly, it feels like the front office isn't just making moves anymore. It looks like they're thinking bigger than any of us imagined. What's crazy is that today's video isn't about just one major story. We've actually got two massive Sixers headlines that could completely change the conversation around this team. The first one involves a rumor that, just a few days ago, most people would have laughed off as impossible. But now, there are real signs that something unexpected could actually be brewing behind the scenes. If it ever became reality, it would instantly become one of the biggest moments in franchise history. Then, right after that, we're going to talk about another move that's already sending shockwaves across the NBA. Analysts are reacting. Fans are debating it everywhere. And the national media is giving Philadelphia a ton of credit for taking a huge swing that could reshape the future of this team. So trust me, you won't want to miss either story because they both say a lot about where the Sixers are heading and just how aggressive this organization has become. And before we jump in, if you're a real Sixers fan, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to 76ers Daily News, and join us from the very beginning. I'm Henry, and this channel is still brand new. Our first goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'd love for the people who truly believe in this team to be part of this community from day one. Alright, let's get into our first story because this one honestly feels almost unreal to say out loud. According to Nicholas Kyle Pring, the Philadelphia 76ers have officially taken the first step toward what could become the biggest move of the entire offseason. The report says that, according to the Athletic insider Tony Jones, the Sixers have reached out to LeBron James' camp to express their interest in bringing him to Philadelphia. Just think about that for a second. LeBron James, a Sixer for years. That idea always felt like a fantasy. Back in 2018, Philadelphia aggressively pursued LeBron before he ultimately chose the Los Angeles Lakers. Most fans accepted that chapter was closed forever, especially since many people believed he would retire in Los Angeles. But now, everything has changed. LeBron's decision to leave the Lakers this summer has completely shifted the landscape around the NBA. Suddenly, every contender is looking at the possibility of landing one of the greatest players in basketball history. And the Sixers have officially entered that conversation. Now, before anyone gets carried away, this doesn't mean LeBron is coming to Philadelphia tomorrow. It simply means the organization has made its interest known. But even that is a huge development because it shows exactly how aggressive this front office wants to be. And when you look at the roster the Sixers have built, you can understand why they believe they deserve to be part of this conversation. After pulling off the blockbuster trade for Jaylen Brown, Philadelphia now features Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, and incoming sophomore VJ Edgeom. That is an incredible core filled with elite talent on both ends of the floor. If you're LeBron James and your number one priority is winning another championship before you retire, that's the type of roster that immediately gets your attention. The financial side is obviously the biggest obstacle. Right now, the Sixers don't have the cap flexibility to simply sign a player like LeBron under normal circumstances. But reports surrounding LeBron's situation suggest that money may not be his biggest concern anymore. According to the information surrounding his camp, LeBron is prioritizing another championship above everything else. There has even been discussion that he would be willing to sacrifice a significant amount of money, potentially even accepting a veteran minimum contract, if it gives him the best chance to compete for another NBA title after his championship in 2020. Now, whether that actually happens is another question entirely. It's still incredibly difficult to imagine LeBron James wearing a Sixers uniform. There are so many moving parts, salary cap complications, and other teams that will certainly try to convince him as well. But here's what excites me the most as a Sixers fan. For years, we've complained that this franchise wasn't bold enough. We've wanted Philadelphia to think bigger, act faster, and stop playing it safe. Now look at what's happening. First, they make a stunning move to acquire Jaylen Brown. Now they're reportedly reaching out to LeBron James. Whether this ultimately works or not almost feels secondary at this point. The message being sent around the league is crystal clear. Philadelphia is going all in to chase a championship while Joel Embiid is still playing at an elite level. That mentality alone should get every Sixers fan excited. Now, let's move to our second story, because this one is already receiving incredible reactions around the NBA. After shocking the basketball world by acquiring Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics, the Sixers are already receiving glowing reviews from analysts, and one of the biggest endorsements came from Bleacher Report. Michael Kasky-Blomine highlighted that Bleacher Report gave Philadelphia an A grade for the trade, believing the Sixers made one of the smartest moves of the offseason. To complete the deal, Philadelphia sent Paul George first-round picks in 2028 and 2031, plus second-round picks in 2028 and 2030 to the Boston Celtics. In return, the Sixers landed 29-year-old Jaylen Brown, a five-time NBA All-Star and former NBA Finals MVP. That's a massive addition. Bleacher Report's evaluation focused on several reasons why Philadelphia comes out looking so strong. First, Brown is younger than Paul George. Second, he's been much more available over the past several seasons, something every Sixers fan knows is extremely valuable. Third, they believe Brown is currently the better defender and can still impact games at an elite level on both ends of the floor. Last season, Brown averaged 28.7 points per game, making him the fourth leading scorer in the entire NBA. That's elite production. Bleacher Report also pointed out something that makes a lot of sense for Philadelphia's long-term plans. With Brown capable of carrying such a heavy workload throughout the regular season, the Sixers can afford to be much more careful with Joel Embiid's minutes. Instead of pushing Embiid every single night, the team now has another superstar capable of leading the offense and helping keep everyone fresh for the playoffs. And honestly, that's exactly what this team has needed. We've seen too many seasons where everything depended on Embiid carrying an enormous burden before the postseason even started. Adding Jaylen Brown changes that equation. The report also praised how naturally Brown fits alongside Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. Maxey brings explosive scoring and speed. Edgecombe continues developing into one of the franchise's most exciting young players. Brown provides elite two-way play on the wing, championship experience, physical defense, and another reliable scorer who can create his own offense when games slow down. Another huge storyline here is the role of Mike Gansey. Was only recently introduced as the new president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers, and he wasted absolutely no time making his presence felt. Instead of playing it safe in his first offseason, he immediately pulled off one of the biggest trades in recent NBA history by bringing Jaylen Brown to Philadelphia. Will the trade ultimately lead to a championship? Nobody knows yet. The games still have to be played. But one thing is already obvious. This organization is no longer sitting back and hoping things magically improve. They're attacking the offseason aggressively. They're taking calculated risks. They're showing Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, and the entire fan base that the goal isn't simply making the playoffs. The goal is competing for an NBA championship. And after everything we've seen over the past few days, it honestly feels like Philadelphia has become one of the most fascinating teams to watch heading into the new season. If you enjoyed today's update, make sure to leave a like, because it really helps the channel grow. I also want to hear your opinion. Do you think the Sixers have a real chance to land LeBron James? And how would you grade the Jaylen Brown trade? Let me know down in the comments, because I read every single one. And if you truly believe in the future of this team, subscribe to 7. I'd love to have real Sixers fans with us from the very beginning. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.